Details of his new budget calling for a $4 million reduction of council's funding. Joining us right now, Detroit City Council President Pro Tem Gary Brown. He has 30 years of service to Detroit, both in law enforcement and in politics.
And next to him, Council Member Santil Jenkins. She's a lifelong Detroiter who also has dedicated her life to the betterment of the city. Welcome as well. Let me start with you, Council President Pro Tem Gary Brown. Tomorrow the mayor is going to announce a budget, $4 million, trimming the city council, your staff to one person. You said council's part-time, but aren't you just happy to have a job today?
Charlie, think about this. If you cut the budget, the city council to part-time, Channel 2 is going to save about $20 million because half the reporters won't have anything to do. All you do is chase us around. So, yeah, no, to be part-time, the citizens at some point should get what they asked for and what they voted for. And they voted for council by districts. The districts are going to have 100,000 citizens in each district. That's a council person to service 100,000 people. You can't do that part-time.
Well, Santil, if that was the case, do you think that you could effectively do your job at a part-time status, be able to please your constituents?
Absolutely not. Not only will we not be able to please our constituents, we couldn't do our due diligence for the things that we do at the table. We vote on contracts. Any given week, we're voting on up to 50 contracts, 50 lawsuits and settlements from people who have sued the city. We have ordinances that are coming through, abatements, tax abatements for businesses. Who's going to do the background work for those things?
We've heard the recommendations. They're pretty steep cuts. Why do you think that they're coming after council?
Well, first of all, I think that we have a report based on cities where we're comparing apples to oranges. I'm sorry. For instance, Nashville, where they're saying, well, we can cut our council and they can be more like Nashville. Nashville has 40 city council members, for starters, and they also have 2 of their council members are the mayor and the vice mayor.
Yeah, but Oakland County has got 21 part-time commissioners in a county that's 1.2 million people, larger than the city of Detroit. And the whole staff for the Oakland County Commission is about 10 people. And yet you guys need your whole staff?
Here's the difference between Oakland County and the city of Detroit. Wayne County provides some services. The city of Detroit provides more services for the people who live in the city of Detroit. So here's the thing. When the auto industry started to become more efficient, they didn't say, let's send all the workers home. Foreman, you keep building cars and then we'll catch up with automation. They created automation and efficiencies, and then they started to cut back on the workforce.
I went out and asked Detroiters what they thought about whether or not they would like to see a part-time or a full-time city council. Here's what they said. In order for Detroit to save money, do you think Detroit should have a part-time city council?
Yeah, why not? I mean, full-time is not working.
Council says they need to be full-time because they do a lot of work, and cutting their budget, there's only a little tiny part of the overall budget of the city.
But everybody else is cutting. So
the way the city is ran right now, I'm sorry to say this, but it kind of sucks.
They kind of brought this on upon themselves to some extent, yes. And the peoples, I think, would agree.
I know we need to reduce the number of city council people because the population of the city is reduced. Maybe not the whole council, maybe half the council. We can do without at least 2 or 3 of them.
Only one staffer.
Get a good staffer.
You have to downsize sometimes.
There's so much to analyze the budgets, you know what I'm saying? The crime in the city. So definitely you need more than one person.
2 people should be able to handle it, though?
Yes, I think 2 persons.
Do you think one staffer will do it for a city council person?
No.
2?
No.
3?
It'll take a collective effort.
4?
Yes.
When you hear what they're saying, Detroit residents, I mean, what is your reaction? Do you think one of the main problems is that maybe they don't know what you do?
Well, no, they're frustrated. They're frustrated. We're all frustrated.
What they do.
You know, and sometimes we're even embarrassed. Somebody wants an emergency manager in the city of Detroit. We want to get him out of here as quickly as humanly possible. It's certainly better than bankruptcy. So what you're hearing from citizens is frustration. They want the lights on. They want the police to respond on time. And municipal government at this point is broken. But if we can get our debt under control, we can use some of the that
Where you
we're
gonna
spending
do,
on
sit
debt
home?
service to
You're gonna watch
restructure
this on
city
TV,
government,
you're
get
not gonna
some
do
more
nothing?
efficiencies in place,
Well,
and
this
get
guy
the
is so
lights
crooked,
on,
the
get
new
the police to show
EFF
up on time,
gave
and then you'll
$300
see that
million
level of
to his law
frustration
firm
start
out
to
the
subside.
city that's
Then
supposed
my
to be
understanding that
taxpayers'
you council
money.
have a plan
Now he raised his
to,
own
or
price
maybe
up
even
to $1 million.
lobby the emergency
Where's all the
manager, I
money
guess, to
going?
make the
Out of
decision
state.
to
His
keep
own
your staff.
salary.
Is that what's going to happen, Sanjay?
Yeah.
Well, we've
They're
been
selling
working on a plan
land.
for restructuring all
Trying
along.
to buy
So our
land.
plan isn't to
They're
lobby
personal
anybody.
and
Cutting
out.
Our
police.
plan is
About
to
to put the
continue to
military
work
on the
on
street. And what are you people in
restructuring, and
Detroit
we will
doing?
present our plan.
Nothing.
We'll go through.
Nothing.
Well, it depends on what you call a
Don't
full
care.
staff. Some people are saying
That's why
8 people. Some
your
people are
family,
saying 4. I have
your
4
kids
staff members.
are all gonna
one
die.
administrative
And that's the
person.
truth.
I have 1 community person.
That's the truth. If
And
you
I
don't
have
stand
2
up for
policy
something,
analysts in my
you ain't got no
office.
Well, there are a
legacy,
lot of people who are
nothing.
watching,
You
and
let
they
them
feel that
win.
there's, they
This is
watch
the
some of
no-face
the
movement. Let's
highlights,
keep on watching.
the inaction, the bickering. They feel like maybe the city council isn't doing what they're
Wake
supposed
up,
to be doing,
people.
and they question
Do
if you
your
even
own
need
research.
that many staff members.
Wake up.
You know, the citizens of the city of Detroit are frustrated.
Be curious
And I
enough to
understand
look
that
into it
frustration,
at
but
least
let's not,
before
you know,
you
let's not get this
dispute
thing
it.
twisted. We
Wake
have reduced
up.
the budget. We admit that there's redundancy. We're going to restructure. We're going to reduce the budget even more. And so, you know, but we can't eliminate the budget. We still have to be able to operate.
Do you need
I
48
think part of
staff
the
members?
reason too is, yeah, absolutely. The 4 staff members I have now, not one of them, and we're on furloughs, which means you're supposed to work 72 hours every 2 weeks. There is nobody in my
Because our
office who
system
works
has
72
collapsed.
hours.
They got
Me
furloughs.
and another staff member left my office today at 8 p.m.
And 30% of our budget goes to health care, pension, and paying back bad debt. 30% of our budget.
That's too much. That's something that even the emergency manager can't do.
And therein lies
That's
the
not a
problem.
city council
Well, that's not a city
issue.
council issue. You can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
30%.
And $7 million won't fix
Which is
it.
really what you're saying, then, is that the retarees listening to this are going to have to take a cut. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
well,
saying?
I'm one of the retirees, Charlie. Let's not get carried away with
That's
it.
right. You got
Let's not get carried away with cutting our retirees.
30% were the general fund. 30. That's outrageous.
Yeah, it is outrageous.
Nobody can.
But that's why we have
It's
an
a broken
emergency
system.
manager. That's his sweet spot. That's what he's here to do. He's here to reduce the
What do
unfunded
you think?
liability and reduce our debt. And if he does that,
Well,
we'll
I mean,
have
we
more
saw this
dollars
coming.
to
We saw this
hopefully,
coming with the
give some of
emergency
our
financial
resources,
manager,
firefighters and other city
the
workers
selection
a decent
actually.
salary, but
That's
it's
him
more
right there,
important to be able
folks.
to put the
That's Kevin
technology
Orr.
in place.
I feel
to be
like
able
he
to
has a
operate.
conflict of interest.
How is the relationship right now between
He has a
council
conflict of
and
interest. I mean,
That's
his law
fine.
firm
I mean,
that he
you
just
know, I
came
think
from,
it's-
that's
it's
his law firm,
as good
just
as you
got
can expect
awarded
it
a
to
very
be, but maybe
lucrative
better.
contract.
He's been
That's
responsive.
Gotham
He's
City
been
all day
true to his
long.
word thus
And then
far.
he's raised
That's all
his
we can
pay,
ask for.
his
He's
own
here.
salary.
We need to try to
And he
help
came
him be
in
successful
riddled with
so that
debt.
he can lead.
Instead of he wants to make a deal with the city council. And then the next day he cut the pay from the city council and said that they can't vote for nothing. They can vote for things and give it to him, but he ain't gonna approve nothing they say because they have no power.
Yes, they have to have his
What is he, a
permission.
dictator? Sometimes blood needs to be spilled to get our country back in line. Sometimes blood needs to be spilled. People, raise your arms. The Second Amendment taken away. Get your guns. Get prepared. The war is upon the human being, not against each other.
At least
30 years in the making. Yes. All
Has
elected
this
officials
council
should
been
take.
perfect? No, absolutely not. But there.
If you want to check this out, we'll leave the links down below. This is the No Face Movement.
2 years ago.
A year ago, Charlie, I would have reduced the budget by $100 million. A year ago.
And
But we
we're out.
still
But
get a
here's
whole-
the
yes, but the
problem
whole